Welcome to a new daily top AskReddit video. Today's topic.
What was your, sir, this is a Wendy's, moment? I worked at Walmart for a long time in the hardware department. Had a customer call asking if we sold toilets. I said, like, toilet seats. He said, no, like actual toilets. Sir, I said, sorry, we just sell the seats and replacement parts. No porcelain. He got all huffy and said, Jesus, what is this place? Walmart. I paused for a moment and said, yes sir, it is. Silence for a long moment. Then he said in a little voice, this isn't Home Depot. No sir, you called Walmart. Oh shit, I am so sorry. Quote. And he hung up. I laughed my ass off. At least they were aware enough to apologize. Which shows that he really is a Home Depot customer and not a Walmart customer. I say this as an ex-Walmart employee who worked in the toy department. Went to drive-through at a Wendy's and the person taking the order said welcome to Walmart. I was really confused and I heard laughing and he said I'm so sorry he works there too and was on autopilot. Missed opportunity for the Uno reverse card. Imagine saying, sir, this is a Wendy's, as the customer. A few months ago I drove up to the Wendy's drive-through and heard through the speaker. Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Quote. There was laughing in the background. I did reply in a serious tone, sir, this is a Wendy's. Quote. Tilde Q uproarious laughter by all. I think they were stoned. 10 out of 10. Always going to that Wendy's. Welcome to Costco. I love you. I had been working retail and had to ask people each transaction if they had air miles. Fast forward and I'm getting on the bus home. And I insert my ticket into the collector and ask the bus driver if he had air miles. His face. My face. I walked away quickly. I got my law degree from there. I was in Lowe's one morning right after they opened. There was a woman at the service desk having a complete meltdown yelling and screaming because Lowe's didn't have a licensed contractor there at the store for her to hire. She apparently woke up that morning and decided she needed a deck like that same day and thought she could just go to Lowe's and have someone immediately start building a deck. It was dead, so I stood with the cashier listening to the show. They ended up having to call the police to get her to leave. Sometimes I wonder what it feels like to live every day with that much innate entitlement. The power, unearned confidence must be a little intoxicating, no? Had an uncle on my spouse's side do this with groceries. Went off the rails that they expected him to pay. He was not entitled. He was having a mental breakdown due to a medication he had just started taking. People who walk off in a huff after arguing something stupid like the contractor bit above I would definitely call entitled. This lady staying until they had to call the cops. Something is wrong there. I'm a high school teacher in Australia. I had a parent rail me out that I wasn't teaching their daughter how to do her taxes. I'm a history teacher. I had a parent rail me. Means something different where I come from, lol. Very different type of feedback. Work in radio. Got a call on the contest line one time. Yeah, I need a hotel room, said the caller. Okay, how would you like me to help you? Well, book me one. You're aware you called a radio station's contest line, right? Yeah, don't you book hotel rooms for rock stars when they do a show in town? Book me one. Quote. OMG, that's why you can never get through on the contest line. Hilarious. Sure sir. The $100 booking service fee will be charged on the same card you'll be using to pay the room. Quote. I love when customers trauma dump on me. Okay sir, that will be $2.15. Yeah, my dog just died and my son was arrested. My mom's house burned down last week too. Oh. Would you like a straw? Quote. I just chalk it up to people being lonely. It's especially frequent with older customers. Maybe they just don't have someone to talk to. Yay. I had to convince an old guy that used to come into the dealership and pay for a bunch of shit to have someone to talk to that I'll just go to lunch with him once a week or sit to hang out. He had no one left and was burning cash looking for some human interaction. I let him tell his stories and asked questions, and he felt good again. I work as a facilities manager for a company with a few hundred locations around the country. Back at the end of 2020 I was having trouble getting in touch with a vendor we had a contract with to do some work around one of our offices. Nothing big. I figured he just ghosted us. So I began looking for another vendor who could take over the work. After 2 months of radio silence, vendor 1 calls me out of the blue and was clearly very drunk and crying at 1 p.m. on a weekday. Turns out he had gotten COVID, was hospitalized, got blood clots in both legs, and had to have them both amputated. He called me while I was at work and told me his whole life story. I ended up staying on the phone with him for about 30 to 45 minutes and I helped him track down a grief counselor. Hopefully he went. I still wonder how he's doing sometimes. Oh, my God. You did so well. Can you imagine if he'd called him and gotten a hold of him while he was angry? What is your fucking problem? I have no legs. You might have saved his life. I hope you know that. Even if he didn't go to the grief counselor, he still didn't have to be alone in that moment. That counts. Probably counted for a whole lot. I had a similar, vendor ghosted me, story. Wife and I got married in 2021 right as lockdowns were lifting, so we went for it. Had a videographer who seemed sort of out of it at our wedding. He just followed the photographers around, who did an excellent job. He didn't talk much at all and just seemed distracted. Months go by and my wife checks up on our video progress. Turns out he was going through a rough divorce, but he was turning things around and getting to his backlog. No biggie. We give him time and space. Then like 6 more months go by. We figure, okay, this is probably a good time to check in again. Wife goes to his FB page for his business and it's just a freaking minefield of WTF happened. Turns out he murder-suicided his ex-wife in front of their kid. The wife's family was going through trying to recover any footage for couples that still had business outstanding with him. We're just, nope, that's okay. Wait. The husband commits murder-suicide and the wife's family is going through the footage for his business.